The Buccaneers Season 2, Episode 6 is an emotional roller coaster that reminds viewers why the show originally captivated us. It's a story drenched in melancholy, even amidst the glamour and romance. This episode is packed with heartbreak, betrayal, and an ending so shocking that it leaves the future uncertain for nearly every major character. The episode opens with Guy buying flowers for Paloma, unaware of their drunken marriage the night before. He spots James in Italy and quickly rushes to Jinny and Freddie. Unfortunately, he learns Jinny has already been in contact with James and has naively begun to trust him again despite Guy's warnings. It's already too late. James has kidnapped their baby, Freddie. Back in England, Nan and the rest of the women rally around Jinny. Theo offers to use his influence to help, arranging for the editor of the Times to write a sympathetic article from Jinny's perspective. Jinny's heartbreaking confession to the editor lays bare her suffering and desperation to regain custody of Freddie. The article is ultimately published, casting Jinny as the victim rather than a disgraced woman, providing a temporary moment of hope. Elsewhere, Lizzie meets Theo again. He confesses he missed her, despite knowing they can't be together. She had previously called off her wedding to Hector, admitting she didn't love him fully. Their exchange is bittersweet, full of longing but grounded in reality. Hector, meanwhile, only appears because Nan asked for his help. He reveals that pushing legislation to help Jinny is almost impossible, but agrees to assist by connecting Nan with the Home Secretary at an opera event. At the opera, Nan delivers a persuasive plea to the Home Secretary, asking for courage and resolve to change the law. Just when it seems to work, James appears in the opposite box, escalating the stakes. Meanwhile, James's mother brings Jinny a dress, inviting her to the opera. Jinny sees this as a chance to see Freddie again. But once there, James aggressively grabs her, prompting her to slap him. Using this as an excuse, he has her committed to a psychiatric hospital. While Nan tries to gain access to the hospital, James freely visits Jinny, manipulating and gaslighting her. Jinny plays along, pretending to be cured in hopes of reuniting with Freddie. James takes her to a remote house owned by his Aunt Emily, where Jinny briefly sees Freddie but is then locked away again. She agrees to stay with James, not out of love but for Freddie's sake. The real turning point comes when James's mother, finally seeing the consequences of her actions, confesses to Richard. She admits she made a mistake by helping James and begs Richard to rescue Jinny and Freddie. Richard and Honoria devise a quiet plan to infiltrate Aunt Emily's house under the guise of trust. While Richard distracts James with manipulation and false camaraderie, Honoria sneaks off to find Jinny and Freddie. Honoria manages to escape with Freddie, leaving Richard behind. When James realizes the deception, he flies into a rage. A confrontation erupts, and Richard punches James, rushing to free Jinny. As they try to leave, James blocks the door with a gun. In a climactic moment, Richard tells Jinny to run. She escapes, but a gunshot echoes behind her. Jinny returns to find Richard bleeding out on the floor. James has killed his own brother. It's a devastating moment. Back home, Honoria's return with Freddie brings joy and relief, but it's quickly overshadowed by Jinny's haunting arrival. Barefoot, draped in a thin shawl, shattered and alone. The death of Richard, a character who arguably experienced the most growth throughout the series, is a crushing blow. His attempt to save Jinny and Freddie cost him his life. James's final act of fratricide cements his place as one of the show's darkest figures. His twisted sense of victimhood, blaming others for his monstrous actions, is laid bare in his final confrontation with Richard. The episode ends in heartbreak. Richard's death leaves viewers reeling. Questions abound. What will become of Conchita? Will James be brought to justice? Can Nan and Guy find happiness amid the chaos?